I'm Courtney, the host of This Is Fine, Right? This podcast exists for the moment when you catch yourself asking that question, is this actually fine? If you're here, something in you already knows there's more to look at. And this is your permission to investigate it in your body, your emotions, your patterns, and the way you're living your life. We talk about chemistry, signals in the body, lived experience, motherhood, and how all these parts connect, not from a place of fixing yourself, but from understanding yourself. This isn't about you becoming the best version of you. Let's be honest. You're here because your body and mind already led you here. You don't need to be reinvented. You need clarity, direction, and encouragement as you stay in the driver's seat of your own health. I'm not your average gal pal. I get real, a little sciencey, and I'll help you learn how to work with your body instead of against it. So let's get into it. Hey y'all, welcome to this episode. So today's topic is really crucial and important to your health journey. The health space is really loud. I know there's a lot when you are looking at content or talking to people out there to help influence you in the sense of what supplements to take, what diet you should be going on, what type of working out you should do. There's just a lot. And one of the things I haven't heard too much about is how important it is to work with somebody that makes you feel safe, makes you feel seen, makes you feel understood, where you can kind of be, not kind of, but actually be carried through the process of healing. So the topics I want to cover in this episode is how to tell if this is a safe person for you to be working with. The red flags that I see all the time in this space, and the difference between being given a protocol versus being taught how to understand your body and developing a protocol that actually has to do with how your body functions. So I see this all the time. And I mean, I don't just see it, I experienced it, where someone has tried everything. They've done the supplements, they've changed their diet, they're working out hard or they're working out less, they're meditating, they're walking, they're journaling, and it's all the stuff. And it's still not working. And so you start spinning your wheels and developing these beliefs about yourself, and that, you know, maybe this is just how I'm supposed to be. Maybe I'm just not meant to live this like full and happy life, and I'm just supposed to be going down this rabbit hole of shit that doesn't actually work for me, and maybe it'll never work for me. And, you know, this hopeless, depressing spiral of what the fuck? And what I came up with in developing these types of feelings, and yes, it's understandable that it feels like none of the things are working, but what I want you to ask yourself is it you, or is it what you're being taught? Are you just being told, go do this, go do that, go do this, go do that, and you're going to be totally fine because that's what worked for me? Or are you being told, hey, based on what I'm looking at and what you're describing to me and what you're feeling and what your physicality and everything looks like, I think this would be the best option for you. I think these tools would be the best for you. Okay, so this brings me into the red flags. So kind of like what I was saying before, one of the red flags is you're just given a protocol. You're just given like what everybody else has been given, and here you go, and you go on your merry way, and you just follow the guidelines and follow the script and follow the paper. But it's not necessarily personalized to you. It's just what they give all of their clients. So that's red flag number one. Red flag number 2 is there's not a lot of room for your feedback. So in a sense that, hey, I tried this type of exercise and it was really painful and it didn't work for me. Or I went ahead and I did this diet and I started eating these foods, but I'm finding out that it's making me really constipated. Or, I started going heavier on my workouts and I'm finding that I'm like super dizzy and fatigued. Those kinds of things. Being able to give feedback and then receiving your feedback and then coming back to you in a way that you could do some adjusting based on what you're feeling. Okay, red flag number 3. Um, being overly confident instead of like curious. So you might feel this not only with like a coach or somebody to work with, but like even with doctors, because I totally felt this where you go into an office and you're like, okay, I'm experiencing bloating, fatigue, constipation. Sometimes I have to rush to the bathroom, or sometimes I can't have a bowel movement at all. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. I know what this is. This is IBS. So all of a sudden, just because you've said some things that other people say, they assume, oh, this must be what it is, without actually listening to all of your patterns and really taking a look at how you're reacting to certain things. Instead, they hear like bits and pieces and they're confident because they've seen these type of symptoms before and they just put you in a box. That is a huge red flag. Another red flag is how you feel with this person. So kind of piggybacking off of what I was saying about red flag number 3, and then, the practitioner or the person you're working with being like overly confident instead of more curious about you, is what you feel after you leave that appointment or you leave that session. Is it making you feel, one, confused, anxious, or like you weren't even heard? That is huge. Because if you aren't feeling like you're being supported, and then on top of that, you're not even understanding everything they're saying to you, what they're regurgitating to you, and, oh, you must be feeling this, and this is because of this, and they're not breaking it down for you in a way that you get to understand, that's a huge red flag, because this is your freaking body, right? Like, you want to feel like somebody not only cares, but when they're explaining it back to you, that you understand what they're freaking talking about. You have to live in this vessel. Hello. Which brings me to red flag number 3. Essentially, you not really learning anything about your body. This person just being like, oh yeah, like I've seen this before, so here you go. And you just get in this, you're just kind of desperate and you're wanting help. So you just do the thing. But in the end, you're actually not really learning anything about your body. You're just trying the next best thing and just seeing what happens without being told or being heard, hey, I see that you're feeling this and this might be why, so let's try this. So when somebody's making you feel any of those red flags, really pay attention to, are you just being thrown into the mix and thrown into this same protocol? Because there's so many different ways that people present these protocols. But if they're, say there's 50 of you, okay, and you're all doing the same diet, you're all doing the same supplements, you're all doing the same workouts. Well, you're all different people. So the way you feel about that is going to be different than the other person feels about that. I mean, we're human. So when you're being taken off the table and you're just being treated like all of these people and being put in the same box, I would be pretty darn curious about that. And it shouldn't be a big surprise if one and the other are getting different kinds of feedback and different kinds of results from these things. Even though it's the same things, you're all different people. And so when I was going through my journey, I signed up to work with certain coaches. I did certain protocols because I saw people that were having results that I wanted to. Oh, fuck, she's skinny. I want to do that. Oh, she looks like she has a bowel movement every day. I want to do that. Oh, they're taking all those supplements, for cognitive function and to be able to balance themselves out. So I'm going to do that. But then I would be like, okay, this is weird. I'm following these instructions to a T. I'm a very good student. And for some reason, I don't look like that. I don't feel like that. So what am I doing wrong? And doing all this time and time again, I started to realize that this was a pattern in paying all this money for people to help you. And I understand, because it's not that their method didn't work for them, right? They're teaching it because it worked and they want to help other people. But when you're not learning about your actual body, these are things that might not even be long term. In fact, it might work the first month, and then the next thing you know, it's either making you worse or it's not doing anything at all, or it continues to work. But if you're just being told this is what you should do, without being presented the question of, what is your body trying to tell you? And you asking that, right? Like, what is my body trying to tell me? What is it I'm missing about my body and the way that I'm functioning? And what does it need? So when you take the time to ask yourself that question, why is my body feeling this way? What is it it's trying to tell me? What is it that I need? You will know you are in a safe space and you're actually being supported when somebody can help you answer those questions. Where this is a very hard and vulnerable time, where they're with you and helping you going at your pace. Where if you have questions or you have feedback or if you try something and it's not working, where they're able to pivot with you and understand that. And at the end of the day, you feel more embodied, more connected to yourself. You have an understanding about yourself that when you give yourself something, it's what your body needs, or when you don't. You understand why that is not good for you. And instead of getting overwhelmed by everything you're being given, you're actually more curious because you are being taken into consideration, that you're curious and understanding, why is that for me? Why is that not for me? And so it doesn't feel necessarily overwhelming or like pressure. It's more of like you wanting to gain that knowledge about yourself, because it's going to give you so many answers to how you live your life daily. This isn't just a guessing game. How many times have you been told in this wellness healing journey, it's just stress? The fuck? I mean, who's not stressed? But I can tell you this. If you feel safe with the person that you're with, safety overcomes stress. You shouldn't feel pressured. You shouldn't feel like there's this huge sense of urgency. Like who knows how long you've already been dealing with this. You have to allow yourself to change, but you also have to allow yourself to get to know yourself in order to change. A huge other reason that a person can feel safe is to be listened to and heard and understood, not treated just like the next thing, the next patient. I got 30 minutes. I can only give you this much. And instead, that makes you feel stressed and desperate. And so you're just doing all of the things that you're being told to do, but you're forgetting to pay attention to the environment in which you're doing it. Because the environment that you're in is going to make a huge difference in what you're doing being effective. So this is hugely important to me. It should be important to you, because in my journey, I had spent time and money wanting to feel like I was being held in a space where I was being majorly considered and treated like a person that was going through some shit. And in my work, I make sure that my clients feel this, that they feel that they are being heard, that they feel like they're being understood, that they feel like we can shift based off their patterns and their concerns. Because at the end of the day, it isn't just about feeling more energetic or having a good poop that day. It could be, yes, that's part of it. But in order to reach this sense of wellness in a way that is simple, practical, something that you can maintain and sustain for a long time, that's a sense of vitality. And being able to embody all of who you are and take all of those bits and pieces with you on the journey, you're going to get so much more out of it. It's going to actually impact your life, because all of those things matter. All of those things make a difference. In the beginning, it can feel like a lot. You know, it can feel like, wait, you want me to look at my diet? You want me to look at my bowel movements? You want me to look at how I'm working out? You want me to look at my environment at home? You want me to look at what the things that are stressing me out? Yeah. It's a lot. The work isn't easy, but it's simple in the sense that when you look at, you have to look at all of those parts of your life in order to make a huge change. And just being given a basic protocol is just going to give you a basic life. And I can tell you right now, that's not what you're looking for. So with that, really pay attention. Really pay attention to what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling before diving in to something that is going to be extremely vulnerable, and being able to come out on the other side feeling like, wow, I was really taken care of. I really learned a lot about myself. I don't feel like I'm in the dark anymore. Everything makes sense as to why I feel this way when I eat that thing, why I feel this way when I do that workout, why I feel this way when I take that supplement, why I'm not losing weight, why I'm gaining weight. That is the ultimate sense of not just moving through life, but like living your life, embodying all that you are. So if you're in a space right now where you're one of those people, you're super frustrated because you've been trying everything, you're following a protocol to a T, and nothing is happening the way that you thought it would or you expected it would, just know that it might just be this protocol you've been given, and that maybe there's a different approach that you're going to need in order to see the results that you're looking for. you might just need a different kind of support, a way to navigate it a little differently that makes sense to you, that impacts you differently. So if this is something that you're navigating right now, totally reach out to me. I would love to get to know you and see what's going on. I understand how important this work is. Right now, I specifically do one-on-one work. All of my information will be put into this episode so you'll know how to reach me. But know that you're not alone. You're not wrong. You're not broken. You might just need a different kind of support. Bye, guys. If something in today's episode resonated, you're always welcome to stay close. I write weekly letters and offer one-on-one support for people who want to understand their body more deeply, so they can keep listening, keep responding, and keep moving forward with clarity. My work is about helping you become your own healer in a way that's grounded in real life. All the links are below, and I'll see you next time.